Wanted to wish everybody a absolutely wonderful and happy Wednesday. A couple things to mention before we get into what I wanted us to talk about for a few minutes. A couple things, as I said, mentioned that the baby finally got to come home. That's absolutely great and wonderful news. I'd also mentioned to a few people about a friend of ours that had a stroke and some bleeding on his brain. They're not really sure as far as the real extent at the moment. Basically, the left side of his body, best way I know how to describe it, is numb. He doesn't really have any real movement, and he's having trouble talking and things of that nature. I wanted us to talk about something that is really hard for us as humans to be able to do. Jesus told us to love our enemies in Matthew chapter 5. That almost goes completely opposite to what the world today says. We look around and we see so many people of so many different ideologies, I guess is the best way to put it. And those types of individuals we look at, and we almost have a disdain for either the way that they're living their life or something that's going on, or whether it's somebody who has hurt us or hurt our family in some way or sort. So when Jesus makes a statement to love your enemies, I go back and I think about what separated us from God to begin with was sin. But I also understand that God loved us enough to send his own son. And the fact that he was willing to do that is something that I think a lot of us really need to evaluate. I've heard many times people say you love the sinner and hate the sin. I believe that many times that's something that people say, but they don't really truly believe. I'll give you an example of that. A lot of times we have this idea or this mentality in our head that somebody has done something wrong, and we try to write them up as that always being who that person is. But that's not necessarily the truth. People change. People change for the better. People change for the worse. But the way that we react to when people do us wrong really shows our character, and it really shows that we have something more to us than what people can see. To love your enemies, I want us to think about that for just a minute. Each and every one of us in our own personal lives have people, I guess we would want to say, that we have a lot of trouble with, whether it's people that it's work related, or it's somebody who for whatever reason may be jealous of something that you have or something that you're doing. There's always people sometimes in this world that it feels like that they're just out to get you. And natural human reaction is to try to do something back to them. The hardest thing in the world to do is to care for somebody who is trying to hurt you. Out of all of Jesus's teachings, love is something that is brought up over and over again, and Jesus' version of love is not a feeling per se, but it's actually doing something. The reason Jesus said to love your enemy is it shows an example to those who may be wanting to hurt you or try to do harm to you. It shows that no matter what, you do actually care for them. So as we go through the rest of our week, I want us to take time to start evaluating where we are. Evaluating where we are, because if Jesus told us to love our enemies and to love those that for whatever reason seem to have an issue with us, then that is something that we're supposed to do. As Christians, we're not supposed to hold grudges, and we're supposed to try each and every day to be an example to the world around about us. And how can we be an example if we are living just like the people of the world that are around us. I hope y'all have a wonderful and blessed Wednesday, and I can't wait to see each and every one of you Sunday. Thank you, and God bless.